Well now, if Team Purple's commentators don't want to seriously talk about what just happened on Twitch with the DMCA, then I will. Let's talk about what just happened on Twitch with the DMCA, the new world that we are now in, and why you, streamer, should very seriously consider streaming on YouTube. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, your sunglass-wearing multimedia enthusiast from Jay's Geek House, with a voice for radio and a face for radio too. Whatever. Let's talk about what's been going on over on Twitch. Basically, the party's over. After all this time, when Twitch was described as a platform that's too small for people to care about in terms of DMCA, or too small to have the nonsense with YouTube, or, oh yeah, your VODs will just get muted, so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff if you play copyrighted music in your streams. Well, let's just say that Twitch streamers have been freaking out left and right, and in many cases, deleting entire channels worth of content to not even take the risk of getting copyright strikes on their channel. So there's been a back and forth that's been going on between Twitch and the RIAA for quite a few months now, as Twitch has been scrambling to develop tools for creators to manage their content better and avoid copyright issues. Last week, the final warning, so to speak, went out to creators on Twitch that normal processing of DMCA claims would resume, and that there was a blanket mass deletion of clips and VODs and other stuff containing copyrighted content, and one-time warning, so to speak, given to every creator who was affected by this. In light of this, it is pretty easy to see, once you compare the various platforms against each other, why Twitch streamers would be making such a big deal out of this. With this new era on Twitch, with copyright strikes, DMCA, and whatever is next, now that regular processing of DMCA takedowns has resumed at Twitch, people have had to come to grips with the hard reality that Twitch is far from being purple YouTube. YouTube, on the other hand, has worked for years to move past where Twitch is now. And with this new reality of streamers being worried about copyright, Twitch suddenly looks like a lot less appealing platform to stream on versus YouTube. Let's think about the previous justification for why someone would stream on Twitch instead of YouTube. Oh, it's a smaller platform, don't have to worry about copyright as much, your VODs will just get muted, etc., etc., etc. But now that Twitch has sent a very clear message that creators need to be worried about copyright strikes and DMCA, that is no longer the case. Twitch is no longer that small platform where everything slides under the radar, especially with the pandemic and the quarantines that have gone on this year. Twitch has gotten big enough for the RIAA to take notice, and there'll be other rights holder organizations out there that'll be taking notice as well as Twitch continues to grow. So where does this put Twitch feature-wise? It's basically where YouTube was a long time ago, missing some very key features that YouTube has today. If you're going to deal with all the headaches of a big platform under today's climate, now that things are changing, it might as well be YouTube. Let's recap some key differences between Twitch and YouTube. On YouTube, copyright strikes expire. There's a work-off period. You can get your stuff together and do well for a certain amount of time and the strikes will be removed from your account. That doesn't exist on Twitch yet. Also, let's not forget those situations where Twitch's rules go a little bit further in how they handle their own user base than YouTube. For example, if you get DMCA'd off of Twitch, you're now a banned streamer. And all your friends and colleagues and other people on Twitch now have to block you out of their broadcasts. If you're playing an online game with a Twitch streamer in this environment, they have to mute you, silence you, or in some other way get you out of their broadcast. It's right there in Twitch's policies that they have to do this. With this kind of threat of being ostracized from your own friends as content creators, streamers, and fellow gamers, why would you continue with Twitch as your primary streaming platform in an environment like this, especially when Twitch needs to catch up to YouTube in terms of the systems they deploy to better manage copyright on the platform? Let's also not forget what happened with YouTube as it tried to get to where it is today. They started with strikes only, Then they moved to audio muting. Then there was Content ID. And nowadays there's Content ID with escrow. Let's play a little what if. With what we know about what happened with YouTube as they developed the systems they have today versus where Twitch is now, assuming that history repeats itself as Twitch scrambles to play catch-up. It is now possible for a Twitch streamer to get DMCA'd into being banned off of Twitch due to false flags and false positives in some kind of system, and now their friends have to ignore them until they get one of the DMCA's and copyright strikes retracted. In that kind of environment, as a content creator, why wouldn't you want to just save Twitch as a sidecar backup platform? Because you want to avoid getting banned on Twitch as much as humanly possible. If you're going to function in this kind of an environment, why not just do it on YouTube? You're going to be dealing with the same stuff anyways, but the copyright system, the Content ID system, and all the other stuff that YouTube has is years ahead of where Twitch is at this point. The live teams at YouTube have been very busy this year. Earlier in the year, streaming on YouTube was this clunky endeavor where you had to hit start stream twice or something silly like that. That's been fixed. There have been lots of other features of YouTube streaming that have been fixed, refined, and polished up as well. And from what we've heard from Creator Insider videos over the last couple of months, feature parity with Twitch is a high priority for YouTube's stream developers. They're even working on a raids feature. Also, let's not forget the recent Streamlabs Stream Elements Q3 2020 numbers. YouTube, in terms of its ratio, as well as Facebook, is over 100 points ahead of Twitch in terms of watch hours versus streamed hours. Bottom line, Twitch's branding is so powerful that there are just too many Twitch streamers right now for them to actually have the kind of audience that they can have on Twitch that they can have on YouTube or Facebook. The question that anybody who does anything with live streaming needs to ask themselves right now is, what kind of content am I going to be doing? And where is the best place to produce that content? In my case, the general purpose tinkering with technology and multimedia stuff, if I want to do it in a live stream, is better off done on YouTube. That's MultimediaJay TV, that's my behind the scenes streams, and I encourage you to come check them out live if you ever see me live in that little thing off to the left. Meanwhile, over on Twitch, what I've decided to do with my Twitch presence is take it more in a gaming direction, with the better, more mature support for gaming, as well as the kind of gamer aesthetic, as well as the gaming demographics that exist on Twitch, versus YouTube being more of a general purpose platform. But even with video games, there are still some gaming streamers on YouTube that are doing incredibly well since coming over from Twitch. Great example will be Valkyrae. Check out a link to her channel in the description of this video. So why is it time to seriously consider streaming on YouTube and taking live control room for a spin if you're already involved on Twitch? Because if you were already planning on functioning in this kind of environment with DMCA, copyright systems, and things like that, now that Twitch is going to be more serious about it, literally in many ways, YouTube is now the better streaming platform until Twitch catches up. Mathematically, there's a big difference between YouTube and Twitch right now. Technologically, there's a big difference between YouTube and Twitch right now. And for those of you streamers who are getting away from the star demographic of mid to late 20s on Twitch, there is also a more mature audience that you'll find on YouTube, versus half of Twitch's audience being 18 to 34, and roughly 20% of Twitch's audience being teenagers. If you've had the feeling that your audience was a little too young, you're probably a Twitch streamer. Amidst all of this Go Team Red stuff, even though my favorite color is blue, obviously, it's important to remember that I don't think that Twitch can't catch up here. Matter of fact, all signs are pointing to Twitch absolutely scrambling to try and close this gap with YouTube now that they have entered this new era of theirs. There's not a doubt in my mind that Twitch can catch up. The question is, how long is it going to take? What is it going to take? And in the meantime, streamer, what would you like to be doing in the interim while all this is happening? And do you want to stay as involved on Twitch as you previously have been while all of this is being brought up to speed? When the system isn't working so well because it's newer, do you want to be on a platform that presents this risk and at the same time, if you get banned because of false positives, has sharper consequences for you, especially if you have contacts with other content creators and streamers, than it does on YouTube? As always, when it comes to this content creation stuff, it's always a fun idea to be open-minded to trying new things. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.